Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning, world. It's a new day. Woke up alive again. What am I going to do with my day today? I'm going to shovel shit. I'm literally going to shovel horse shit today. And then maybe go get some hay. And carry on with all of my chores. Now, what's going on in the world today besides lots of craziness? Lots of craziness in the world today, including, apparently a man in Texas just won the women's strong woman competition. Good for him. Hey? Holy shit. Texas? I thought Texas was the cool place still. Or didn't 3/4 of LA shuffle over to Texas and bring the grief with them, maybe, possibly? I don't know. But I saw that one first thing in the morning. Somebody also, Sarah's bringing up the fact that cloned meat is hitting the shelves in stores. Cloned meat. Be sure of what you're eating out there, you guys, all right? Please just be sure of what you're eating and don't eat it if it's going to be poison for you, all right? Just don't do it. Don't do it. What else is going on? I also saw a thing on Dearborn, Michigan. Holy shit, did they let things get out of hand there. If you're curious about the extremist Muslim maniacs, check out Dearborn, Michigan. Holy shit. Pretty nasty. What else? Also saw a clip by Michelle Obama, Big Mike, promoting divide and racism big time in a big way the other day, talking about how white people made her have to straighten her hair to look Euro so she can't go swimming. That's the latest what us bad white people have done. I'm getting really, the promoting the racism is being used as a weapon and a tool for quite some time now. It should be blatant obvious to many because it's old. It's old, it's useless, it's a cancer, and it's being fed nonstop. And it's being fed from people who are in a position that can really promote it. And it's getting really old, especially in our house. When you see all is equal and all as your neighbors and family, and you even go out of your way to help feed the hungry and help, and then all day long, every day, you're considered the bad white guy, it gets pretty old. It's just filthy bullshit talk and promoting. It's just gross. It's gross. And soon, it's ramping up. It's going to come to a head, isn't it? Don't you think? Shit's going to pop. Shit is popping around the world in some places if you look at Germany, France, England. England, the UK, where the brainwashed, absolute useless tools are nonstop going to people's homes, pulling them out of their homes, handcuffing them, and putting them in a cage for expressing their views on a social media post. How wrong is that? That is so wrong, and I can assure you, this is how you should. This, as far as I'm concerned, when it's getting to that point, that's when you have to start to fight. Sorry, don't shoot the messenger, but that's when you have to fight. You have to. You cannot. People, it doesn't matter what you're wearing, a badge, a uniform. It doesn't matter at that stage of the game. It doesn't matter. If someone is coming to your home where you are a law-abiding, good citizen, to pull you out of your home and put you in a cage for something like that, that's when the enemy is within. And I assure you, if somebody, let's just say I don't know, should you say this? You know what I mean? You shouldn't say things. Well, maybe you should. No, I need to encourage people. I don't give a flying shit. We are good people here. We're not criminals in this home. And if it got to the point somewhere in the twisted future in Canada, Stan, who basically licks the nuts of the UK, nope. Somebody comes into our home to take us away and put us in a cage for a social media post, nobody's leaving my home, including the criminals that are coming here to assault us. They're not going to leave either. Not going to happen. You got to put your foot down and draw the line somewhere, right? I mean, there can be some controversial things come up. Somebody wants to ask them questions, and ask the questions, fine. But when it gets to that stage of the game in life, when the governments are that far out of control and criminal, it's time to say, nope, not today. No, sorry, you came to the wrong house. There's no criminals here. And now we're going to take you away because we don't like your attitude, so we're going to take you down to the jailhouse. You should probably leave, or you're probably not going to see your mommy tomorrow. Okay? And lose the badge because you're a fraudulent piece of shit pussy. Whatever. It's time to fight. Sorry, I'm ringing the bell. It's time to fight. It's time to fight. It is. When it gets to that point, it's time to fight. You're not a criminal. You're not a bad person. And nobody in the face of this planet qualifies to come and pull you out of your home and put you in a cage for something that absolutely that ridiculous, right? No, it's time to fight. I'm ringing the alarm. I don't give a flying shit. Somebody wants to come and talk to me about that, I'll debate you until you're purple in the face at my gate in the street. Anyway, moving along. All right, so somebody emailed me. A bunch of people emailed me. Somebody's got some channel. And it was about some hunter in Idaho, I think. Idaho? I always get Idaho and North Dakota mixed up. I don't know why. Idaho, North Dakota, one or the other. That's what always hits my head. And apparently this young hunter, the title was Young Hunter Debates or Shot at a Wolf Man? Dogman. I'm like, all right, I'll listen to this one. I just came at the right, very rare moment where I would actually click on something and listen to it, except about 99% of the time I just click right through. Hold on a minute. Adventure Dog's knocking on the door, I think. You coming in? Did you enjoy that little snacky snack out there? Good. Okay, you gotta lay down and be quiet. No bugging me, all right? All right? Look at his big eyes. Okay, Bubs? Huh? Oh, now you look away. What's up there? Bubs, what's up there? No, this way. Over here. Bubs, come here. No, we're not getting all excited. She wants to play. You can just tell by the look in her face. Anyway, I watched this video. Hey, nobody's... Oh, shit. Hold on a minute. Anyway, these fellows were talking. The guy was interviewing the hunter, the young guy, who said he saw this absolutely huge black wolf. And I listened to it, and he was explaining how the belly of the wolf was way higher than the stump in front of it. It was 3 feet high. Well, let me tell you, first off, I don't know why I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just replying to what I saw and listened to. So the guy's channel, I think, is geared up for cryptids or something. I don't know. And he wanted to talk to this guy about this dog, quote, dog man that he saw. Nearly shot or shot at. I don't know. I don't really retain enough of it to share exactly what went down. Oh my God, the dog's big when she scratches and shakes the whole room, right? But anyway, he wanted to describe the dog man. There wasn't one human feature mentioned in that entire video. I don't know why they did that. And I get it when some people may or may not be familiar with just how big wolves can get, okay? And I'm going to show you how big they get from absolute experience. I've had my hands on over 200 of them. So anyway, he described the size of this thing as absolutely huge. It couldn't have been normal, blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, he described a large wolf. Detailed description of a large wolf. But I don't know why they threw it in and titled it to be this guy runs into a dog man. Whatever floats your boat. But I'm going to show you guys something. So quite a few years ago, I had a trail camera on a set where I was trapping wolves, British Columbia, mainland British Columbia, and had the wolf come in, look right at the camera, and I went and stood exactly where the wolf was standing, and I looked at the camera, and then I put the pictures together. That's like over 10 years ago somewhere, maybe 10 years ago somewhere on Facebook probably. I could probably find it if I had the time to look. But anyways, what I'm telling you guys is wolves are very, very big. Your average wolf will pick up your German Shepherd and run away with it. Okay? Just so you know. And also, the wolf's feet, I've shown you how big their feet are. They can get real big. Okay? But what the main point I want to get across to you all is when I stood, that was just an average wolf that I had on my trail camera. And when I stood there and then I put the photos comparison side by side, that wolf's back was right there. Right there on me, okay? Right there. I'm 6'1". That average wolf's, mature wolf's back line was at my belt loop, maybe a bit taller. There you go. So when you get your rare individual in all species, including humans, right? Andre the Giant, there's what I'm trying to talk about. You get your average human man is what, 5'10", 6 foot, whatever. And then all of a sudden you get a freak. Every once in a while you get a drop in the bucket that just comes out, what the hell? And you get somebody like Andre the Giant or that basketball player Shaq. Well, the same thing happens with wildlife. And I already shared this one time. A man, I was on the Alaska highway, Sikanee Chief, stopped at the old gas stop. This old dude comes out. He must have been 6'4" plus. And then he's pumping the diesel inside of my truck, and there's an old pump going tick-ding, tick-ding, tick-ding. You know, you fellas want to see a picture of a 250-pound wolf? And I just started laughing right away because the largest wolf I ever caught was 137 pounds, I think. 137. And that thing was like T-Rex. 137. They're very lean animals normally. And we're like, yeah, sure, man, let's see it. Laughing. This dude comes out with his picture, Polaroid of this wolf, and he was 6'4". And the wolf was hanging from the elbows at his back feet. So the elbows of his back feet were right up to the rafters. Right up to the rafters above his head in his shed. And that wolf's neck and head were laying flat on the concrete floor. And he was standing beside it. He wasn't standing way back behind, he was standing beside it. So my jaw just about bounced off the door of the window of the door of my pickup. I'm like, what the holy shit? So a 250-pound wolf, when a very big wolf is around 125 to 140 pounds, is a real big wolf. That's ridiculous. So how tall do you think that wolf would have stood? Could that wolf possibly fit the absolute same description as that young hunter describing the dog man that stood over the stump? Probably. Anyway, I had enough emails forwarding that video to me, I don't know why, that I just gave you my thoughts on that one. Right? Now, if Patty had said this thing stood up like a man and had broad shoulders and ripped muscles, then there's your Dogman video to talk about on your cryptid show. right? So there you go. Not that I give a shit what anybody does on their shows. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't need to prove anybody right or wrong. Not at this stage of the game. I do not give a flying F. All I need is for all of you good, honest people to come forward with what you've seen and what you know and what you're troubled with and seek help from all the like-minded, kind people here. That's all I need. That's it. That's it. Who's the guy? On that note, there's a guy, what was his name? He called himself Bigfoot Tony or something. I don't know where he came from, had an accent. I think he was British. And the one time, the guy messaged me one time. I forwarded a picture. I posted a picture, and he actually, ego-driven maniac, messaged me to tell me not to do that. That's from a known hoaxer. Don't post those. I'm like, you're the internet police now, you frickin' douchebag? Holy shit. And then people would actually, I guess he decided that he was an authority to break down photos and videos. It's amazing what our brains can do, isn't it? What your brain will actually tell you who you are and what you are capable of and the authority that your brain has given you on a public platform. Bigfoot Tony, more like Bigfoot Wacko. Anyway. Yeah, but there's people like that and other people who've tried to make a living online of just debunking. I'm going to debunk that person. I'm going to prove that person's a liar. Oh, well, what a great way to spend time of life. Where did that get you in life? Did it advance you further much or no? Anyway. Coffee's good today, isn't it? I'm finally catching up on my sleep, becoming more alive. Now, who's next? What's next? Let's hear some voices, shall we? Fresh out of the pan. Fresh out of the pan. Steve, you read that email before. I don't give a flying shit. I don't care. You know what? Anybody who's got a channel, especially with a significant following, or pumps out the shit like I do, from what I've seen, everybody's got a team of 3 to 5 frickin' people. I'm all by myself. No, I don't have time to. I just don't have time to go through my inbox of one inbox has. I'll tell you right now. Let me have a quick look. Just cracked open Share My Story, and I scrolled through to the very first email, which was on January, February, March. Oh, wait a minute. 16th of March, 2020. And since then, I don't know if you can see it or not, the number on the bottom. See the number on the bottom? 10,324 emails just in that one inbox. Now you tell me where those 2,500 unread messages are in there. Right? Oh, it sucks. But anyway, yeah, I don't have time to try to organize shit. You get what you get. You don't like it? Lead by example. Do better. You do better than me and show me what to do. Show us what to do. You know what I mean? Lead. Instead of, I hate it when people sit and complain and point shit out with other people and what their actions are. That's a waste of time. Whoever is a complainer, you need to lead by example. Okay? Do better. You do better. You do exactly what you're trying to get people to do. Lead by example. Show us the way. Show us the way. I'm one person. That's just one inbox. And you guys email me to that. You email me to bookit@howtohunt.com. Sarah gets emails to the store. There's another 10 or 20,000 plus emails at tellmystory@howtohunt.com. I do not use the Gmail that's attached to YouTube, but maybe once in a month or something, I might go have a look in there and start scrolling through. And all of the YouTube action is emailed there one at a time, which is gazillions. And all of a sudden there's an email there from all of you. Where else? In the comment section, they're everywhere. Everywhere. Right? Just so you know. This is titled this email, or is this fresh out of the pen? What I do is I go into my inbox, I check out fresh out of the pen, I'll grab a few of those, and then I go right back trying to find those lost emails because I give a shit, and it really, 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 really bothers me that people got the guts up, the courage to email all of you through me, and then their email got lost. That really, really, really bothers me. And that's why I keep trying to find unread emails. That's why I try to go back and find an email that sounds like it's never been read, and then I share it. That's what I'm doing. That's why I do it. If that makes you angry, ram it up your ass. All right? Get a refund at the door where you bought your ticket to come here. Okay? Now, scary encounter as a young hunter is the title of this email, fresh out of the oven. Hi, Steve. Hope all is well and you're staying safe up there in Canada-stan. Should be called British Canada-stan by now, huh? Please feel free to use my name as I don't care who knows and as I'm not afraid of anyone. Right on, brother. Right on. Love it. Love it. I have had a few odd circumstances that happened to me as a child and as an adult while in the woods hunting and from in my vehicle while driving. These circumstances are what I like to refer to as high strangeness, as I have no explanation of what they were at the time, although through my own research and knowledge gathering, I have a pretty good idea. The one incident that I'll share now, for the sake of time, happened when I was 15 years old, and I am 44, so this going back in the files a bit. I grew up in central PA, hunting and fishing at an early age with my brother. PA, there you go. Say no more. We were in the woods from the age of 8-ish years old, doing what rural kids do, building forts, hiking, exploring, watching wildlife, listening to the sounds they made, and learning woodsmanship by spending a lot of time in the woods. It was our playground. And as we got a little older, we started hunting everything we could with BB guns, as we weren't yet 12, the legal age in PA to have a hunting license. But this would start a passion that still continues today. By the time I was 15, I'd already learned a lot and was very knowledgeable in my wildlife identification, this being through tracks, hair, feathers, scat, and most importantly, sounds. I competed in the National Wild Turkey Federation Turkey Calling Contest, and so knowing sounds made by animals was what I was into, and just not turkeys, but anything that made a sound or that had a call, I learned all I could. So as this circumstance unfolds, you'll see that I wasn't an inexperienced hunter. A young hunter, yes, but not inexperienced or uneducated. So fall archery season of, I guess it would have been 1996, I'd found a great little spot where there was a finger of woods that came out of a larger acre patch that was mountainous. This finger was at the bottom of the mountain area with heavy trails running through it, and old crabapple trees and regular apple trees dropping apples. The deer were hammering this spot. It was a thicket of briars and brunch on either side. I think he meant brush on either side, and pretty open in the middle with small trees and brush. The deer could literally hide and eat all day in there and never be seen. I decided that I would hunt off the ground in there, as there were no good trees to hang a stand on. So I had a ground blind of brush and briars to hide in, trying to ambush the deer coming through the finger woods, eating the fallen apples. This spot was only 100 yards from our house, but that proved to be far enough away. I slipped in the spot early this one morning, having my bow, a folding camo seat for the blind, and my flashlight. And as I got settled into the spot and waited for dawn to break, I began to hear a shrill call/cry/scream that was coming from behind me up on the high ground on the mountainside. It wasn't a cat scream. It was deep growling gargle to a high-pitch end tone, hard to explain, but it was within half a mile. I had heard this sound/scream beforehand a few times at night, crossing the mountain ridge behind our home in the summer times, when we would star watch. It was terrifying, and we would all run inside when it would start screaming. It was not a fox, coyote, or bobcat, or a bear, all predators of PA that I was quite familiar with, even at 15, or even the mythical mountain lion stories that ran around. This thing's scream would make the hair stand on end. It was almost demonic sounding. So this morning, this thing is screaming half a mile or so away from me, and I'm like, what the hell? But think it far away, so I just sit tight. Well, that proved wrong. This thing would scream every 30 seconds or so, and it was closing the distance. It was getting closer and closer and closer. Now within 100 yards. And in my mind, I was like, is it coming this way? The screaming continues in the dark, closer and closer. This thing was coming right at me. But how did it know I was there? How did it know I'd be sitting in that blind? Sitting camoed up, quiet as a church mouse. Scent free, this thing was coming right to me. Then it screams. We're right on top of me, within 50 yards. Then 30. I turned my flashlight on, scanning the woods for eyeshine. I couldn't see any. It screamed 20 yards away and then 10. Oh my God. I need a sip of coffee for that one. My blood was literally running ice cold in my veins. No doubt. Holy shit. I distinctly remember that about myself, feeling ice running in my veins. I was terrified. Within 10 yards, this thing screamed again, and I still couldn't see anything in my light. I scanned to the woods in the direction of the scream, but still no eyeshine or animal nothing. I let out my own screams. Get out of here! Go away! It let out one last scream, and I grabbed all my belongings, and I bolted out of the woods and down through the briars and into the dark, tearing my clothing, getting ripped up by the briars, and ran to the hard road that led back up to our house. Dawn had yet to break, and it was still pitch black out. I don't even think I had my light on or shining my way. I was just running for my life. I made it back to my home, ran inside, and never returned to that location ever again. Till this day, I never heard that scream again, and I've spent a lot of years in the woods after that, but never heard nothing like that again. Well, that's my first experience with something that isn't what we know, and that proved we're not alone, and maybe not the dominant predator as we like to think, and that there are things we can't see that go bump in the night. Thank you, Stephen, for providing this platform. Maybe we can have a BS session talk, hunting and fishing sometime, and my other experiences. Wish you all the best this fall in the woods, and hope all is well with Sarah. God bless you and keep you both. Sorry for any typos. Regards, Phil Wakefield. Phil, my man, I will mark you as a look into, which automatically puts you into the get a hold of them folder. Once I get my shit lined out, or maybe shoveled, right, just in today, and we can sit down and get people on here again. It's just really tough right now. We got a farm, one-man team, for doing this stuff, and travel plans coming. We got lots of stuff coming up, but I fully intend on having a regular lineup of guests on here again soon. And we'll get a hold of you, my man. Have a great Christmas, and appreciate all those kind words and well wishes, all right? I'm looking forward to hearing the rest. I'm certain everybody else is too. Got another one. Fresh out of the oven. Fresh out of the oven. Here we go. Lower Columbia River. Popular zone. Is the title of this email. Hi, Steve. Great video coming down the Duffy Lake Highway. I've been watching your videos for about a month now. Great presentation and narration. Keep up the good work. I also appreciate your outlook on government and world events similar to my own. Truth and information, this world is very controlled, as we both understand. Yeah, it's kind of creepy shit, right? Especially when you're aware of it. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being one of those people that just don't have a frickin' clue? Whew, right over your head. Don't have a clue it's going down. I'll bite my lip. I know you know what I'm talking about. My wife and I were lucky enough to purchase a home within about 400 feet of Columbia Beach front in southwest Washington 20 years ago, across the Columbia from us is Oregon. Do you got bighorn sheep there? I think you probably do, don't you? I think. I grew up on 100 acres of forest land on a small steelhead river called the Cowiman. Oh, lucky you, growing up with steelhead in the yard. Heaven. I've always been intrigued by the legend and stories of Sasquatch. Growing up where I did is about 40 miles from Ape Canyon of Mount St. Helens and Fred Beck fame. Wow, only 40 miles. Crazy. I've never had a visual sighting, but I have felt uneasy on a couple of hunts and had that anxious and uneasy feeling as if being watched and needing to get back out of the forest. I've killed deer, elk, and grouse growing up, but I not actively hunted for 30 years. I think you meant you have not actively hunted for 30 years. That sucks. I've also mountain biked and hiked a great deal. Spring Chinook are my quarry now. I catch a few. One of the reasons we live where we live, and the views are quite spectacular. I was anchored fishing on my boat in Dibley Slough. Diblee Slough. One late spring morning 6 years ago. I anchored up just about daylight. Dibley is off the Columbia main stem, and next to the Oregon shore. I was fishing by myself, and about 200 yards below me was another boat anchored and fishing. After fishing about a half an hour, about 6:30 a.m., I heard 3 loud wood knocks coming from the Oregon hillside. I thought to myself rather humorously, I wonder if they're filming an episode of Finding Bigfoot. Right? They were very loud and definite wood knocks about 5 seconds apart. There were no answering knocks or any other strange noises. Well, that was kind of an, well, I'll be moment for me. It would be very early for most people to be up and about and pranking. I never caught a fish that day. However, the boat below me did quite well. Later that summer in mid-July, I had actually finished watching an episode of Finding... I'm gonna call it Finding Bullshit, and went outside to lock things down for the night. It was around 10:15 p.m. from across the Columbia, from the Oregon hillside. There was a loud, what I would classify as a Sasquatch howl. The hillside is a good 1.5 miles away. The reason I referenced the program is that the howl sounded very similar to the howl that Bobo Dude makes on the series. I think it'd be difficult for a normal human to project a howl that far, 1.5 miles, with the amount of volume it had. Yeah, and as well the sound of the rushing water below. That's a tough one to get through for anything. But nonetheless, I thought someone just finished watching that same episode of Finding Bullshit. Sorry, I changed that myself. I can't help it. The very next summer, I was once again locking things up for the night when somewhere down in our peninsula, I heard an owl hooting. Hoot, 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 hoot. It was hard for me to determine how far away it was initially. I guess about 0.5 mile away. It hooted a few more times, so I decided to answer it. Hoot, 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 hoot. It began answering me back. We have 2 big male Labrador retrievers, both good-sized fellows, around 100 pounds, if not bigger. They were both there with me in the driveway, and we were playing fetch, and the moment I answered whatever it was, and it answered me, it was closer to me than when I had first heard it. When it answered me, the dogs stopped what they were doing and stared in the direction of the answering hoots. This is the point where their behavior got strange. After every hoot it made, I would answer it. It got closer and louder, every hoot, and the dogs kept staring in the direction the hoots were coming from, dancing around acting nervous. They would glance at me quickly and look back immediately to the direction the hoots were coming from and continued to get closer and louder. The dogs got right next to my legs and continued their nervous dancing and glancing at me and then staring into the direction of the hoots. Would guess about 200 feet away, it quit hooting. And we had been going back and forth maybe 10 exchanges that encompasses 4 minutes. I hooted more, but it would no longer answer. I've never seen my dogs behave that way ever. It was as if they're trying to tell me, knock it off, you don't know what you're calling in here. The 2 of them were visibly shaken and anxious. No barking or growling, just complete unease with concern to whatever was getting closer and louder. And closer and louder. My family thinks I'm kooky for even considering Sasquatch a possibility. Oh yeah? Send them a few videos from this channel. I tell them they should keep an open mind and do their own research. There are reasons the Native Americans talk about them in their histories. Steve, I'm interested in your thoughts on them. I know you think they are real. I've noticed you're alluding to how you think they are not full-time inhabitants of our planet. Or are your thoughts they are not full-time inhabitants of our dimension? What's your spring Chinook fishing like up there? If you'd ever like to try it down here or just get away for a few days, bring your wife and come on down. That's kind, super kind. Thanks for that invite, man. Absolutely appreciate that. Thanks for what you do, Steve. Did you say to use your name? I don't think you said not to use your name. Okay, Steve. Your name's Steve too. Steve Trotter. Full time. Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't, from some of the places I know they're frequently being seen or heard. There is no freaking way there's enough food in some of these zones on Vancouver Island to sustain them. There's just not. If they were here full time. And it's too inhabited. Like I've said, I mean, I've been dropped off remote bush plane all over the frickin' place in the north. I've been in horseback all over the middle of frickin' nowhere in the north. And it is very, very, very hard to go somewhere without seeing some kind of sign of human being that was there previous, maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 more years previous. It's very difficult. I've been in places where I think, holy shit, there's no way anybody's ever been here. And you keep going, oh, there's a chunk of flagging tape. You know? And I'm just saying, that being said, mentioned this earlier before. If you are a species of 7 to 12 foot tall beings, you're going to be pretty hungry. And leaving camp and going back to camp to get food every single day, you're going to be leaving some regular sign. And your garbage, your waste, think about how much waste comes from your average human community. Your waste pile, wherever that is going to be huge. Right? Even just when I go camping by myself, the amount of garbage I end up with in a week is stupid. Not saying they have packaging, but I'm just saying we leave traces that you just can't miss if we are here full time in a community. Now, if you double, triple our size, think about it. Right? Unfortunately, the amount of testimonies we've had of people saying flat out that they saw this being coming out of a ball of light, hitting the dirt and running. And that's from scientists. One example out of I don't know how many. No matter how hard that is of a pill for you to swallow, well, if you deny that as fact, well, how many eyewitnesses do you need to convince you then? When is it that you, who obviously think you qualify as some kind of a judge, when is it that you decide, okay, that's enough testimonies now, I guess it is factual. Let us know the number. For all you deniers of this unbelievable testimony, well, fill us in. How many eyewitnesses does it take then? Let us know so we know. You know what I mean? But the sad fact, I call it sad because unfortunately we've been raised to not accept a lot of this shit that's going on for real, as it's not really going down. It's not real, okay? It's not real. Now, just quit being silly. Right? Anyway, thank God I do not consider myself a dumbass. Yeah, I'm a lot slower than others in some areas, and I'm a lot quicker in areas than a lot of others too. But one thing for certain is I have learned to accept the testimony from my fellow brothers and sisters on the faceless planet. And that's something I wish I had done a long, 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 long time ago. Instead of the previous training and conditioning of looking at some stranger at the head of the classroom and being timid and submissive to them and having to ask them for permission just to take a piss. Wrong training, right? But anyway, what I'm getting at is All the evidence that I have gathered points to these people, these beings. It could be, to answer your question, it could be a different place altogether or a different dimension. I have a feeling the different dimension is probably more likely from what I've been learning from all of you. Probably more likely. And another thing that somewhat backs that up for me is that any one of you, many of you, when you go into the woods, anywhere, then your mind decides to concentrate on the possibility of these people, these beings being nearby, and then you start doing things to possibly draw them out and react. And it seems to be that no matter where the human beings are physically located that attempt that, more times than not, you get some kind of reaction. Right? How's that? How does that go down so commonly? You know what I mean? And there's another thing too, is careful what you wish for, right? Careful. And that's another reason for me, while I'm out there in the middle of frickin' nowhere, and I know I'm right where these beings frequent. Is it that they frequent where I am hunting? Or is it that there is a thinner veil between dimensions where I am hunting? It's I don't know. But I do know that shit goes down frequently enough all around where I usually go that for me, so that I do not ruin my time and my passion in the outdoors, I make it very clear every time I go, just frickin' leave me alone. I know you're here. You know I'm here. Leave me alone. I'm not into you. I don't need a picture of you. I don't need a video of you. I don't give a flying shit who accepts the fact that you are here or not. I don't care. I'm here to hunt. I'm here to live my life to the best I can and be happy and do what I want to do that makes me happy and healthy. That's what I'm here for. So just piss off. You know, that's how I have carried myself ever since I had that face-to-face experience. And how many times I know for a fact I seen another one of these beings 2 winters ago, steelhead fishing, without a doubt. Same morning, we heard the howl. Same morning, the dog looks up at 3 fir trees, regrowth, 10-inch trunks on them, so you know this bare trunk all the way up to just a handful of branches up there, and she's going crazy looking up in those trees, and I don't see shit. Same day, then another time up in the Pemberton Meadows, I was back when I was intentionally looking for these beings. I got a camera on a tripod, I got a rifle. I'm thinking I'm real smooth. Oh yeah, I snuck in a 300 Magnum and I hit it in the grass. I'll never know, right? They knew my intention before I get out of the truck, that I'm coming to hopefully maybe get something on video. And that pitch black thing was popping up across the meadow about 100 yards from me, like a game of Frogger, popping up, disappear. And then straight to my right, pop up again, down, over to the left again. And that distance was probably about 15, 20 meters. And it was doing it in seconds. And I was flooded with, I got to get the hell out of here. I didn't even think about having that camera on the tripod. And then another time before that, same place, I heard like a 3-toned call. And this kid that worked for me, heard it too. A 3-toned call come out of the woods. No wind. Probably that call had to have been within 100 yards of us, coming out of the thick shit. And even the kid said, "Did you hear that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I heard that." It was almost like who knows what it was. It's almost like they're here, or you're busted, just so you know. Definitely wasn't meant to scare us. When you hear the descriptions of what people say they hear in the woods, definitely nothing like that. It was like a mellow, almost like a female twang to it. And I cannot mimic that 3-tone call. I can mimic a wolf perfectly. I can mimic moose. I'll never, ever be able to mimic that. It sounded like a fool even trying to right now, and I wouldn't even be able to share with you exactly what it was. It was like a female, mid-tone, not super high, not super low, and that tone changed 3 times, and there is no way it was a wolf. No way. Anyway, that happened there, and then another time I was there, camera on the tripod, 300 Magnum in the grass at my feet, and I could hear it sounded like that log blasting into the base of a cottonwood tree like a backhoe was holding onto it. And that was probably 100 yards from me. And you could hear it. You could hear that chunk of wood hitting, slapping the underbrush and the leaves before it impacted on the cottonwood trunk. And I remember at that moment it was flight. Didn't even think for a second about that video camera. That didn't think for 1 second there was a video camera and a tripod beside me. Nothing. Just grabbed the camera, grabbed my rifle, and backed up and backed up and backed up and backed up and backed up. Got to the trail, crossed the creek, through the slough to my truck, and that's when I left. And I took that as a F you. I full on took that as a F you to me, and that was it. I never intentionally looked for those people again. Still haven't. That was it. That was it for me. I'm like, I got you. I'm good. Message received. You know? Message received. I know I'm babbling, but whatever. And then after that, yeah. Since then, I usually have a couple things happen a year, don't I? I don't write it down. I don't keep a logbook, just so you know. But yeah, I usually have a couple things happen each year. I do believe 2 or 3 things happen a year. It's hard for me to recall them all because I'm in the woods. How many freaking days? You guys see how much I'm in the woods. But anyway, there you go. Yeah, I think I have a funny feeling there is a whole nother world, a whole nother flavor of existence going on right next to us somewhere. And I'm definitely not the guy right now to dictate and put it into a smooth delivery in a sentence to help you understand what I'm picturing. Somebody else is out there. Quantum physics, right? But anyway, I probably babbled enough, haven't I? I got to get my ass in gear. It's pissing rain. I got to go get my gumboots on and my rain gear, and I'm going to go shovel horse shit and muck outside the door of the barn in the rain. And then carry on with my day. And then what am I going to do? I think I will. I'll throw Sean Ryan an email, only because I think he's been going down a few rabbit holes lately. He's got a quite large audience, and I think he's a solid, good dude. And it just would be a shame if he did finally give this topic some attention and he went to one of those absolute douchebags. Oh, that would just suck. Don't you think? Think about it. You imagine? That would really, really suck. So if he does spark some interest in this topic, I would hope that he would get one of us, me, whoever, to get to him first and give him the deal. Give him the facts, you know? Instead of one of those absolute douchebags who are probably basically paid to keep everybody going in circles and anybody associated with the topic looking like a brain-dead, inbred piece of shit. You know what I mean? Which they've done quite successfully. Until we came around. But anyway, that's enough babbling, you guys. Appreciate everybody's emails and knowledge sharing and bravery, courage. Appreciate it big time. And, was it Tuesday today? I'll be back tomorrow. I'm like that annoying back pain that never goes away no matter what you do.